Good morning. Welcome to Market Day Report. It's a Friday and weekend almost here. What are we doing with the markets, though? Let's start with overnight action in the corn market. And it was lower. December off 3 3/4 cents, 424.5. The deferreds down 2 3/4 to 3.5 cents. What about soybeans in the overnight session? Ticking higher, up a penny and a half to nearly 2.5 cents higher. November 1047 3/4, penny 3/4 higher. Now let's look at wheat. We'll start with Chicago. Front month D's down 10 1/4, 593 1/4. July down 9 3/4 cents, 635.5, half penny off of the overnight low. Hard red down 9 3/4 on the December, 601 3/4, and the July at 635 3/4, down 8 3/4 cents. Spring wheat 4.5 lower on the December, 641 3/4, and in New York, cotton futures ticking higher, 72.82 on the December, still the most active, and the new crop up 9 points. Brian Hoops is with Midwest Market Solutions. Okay, Brian, we're preparing to head into the weekend. What are you watching?
Well, good morning, Tony. So, usually Fridays are not big news days, but we do have a lot of things to talk about this morning. The dock workers strike has come to an end, very minimal impact on the economy overall as they've reached a tentative agreement. The jobless unemployment numbers that came out this morning, well above expectations. In fact, the unemployment numbers we saw down to 4.1%, below expectations as far as unemployment rate. And it begs the question, why is the government or the Fed lowering interest rates in this environment if we have a pretty hot economy already? So off of that news, we saw the dollar go from unchanged to lower overnight to sharply higher, right? So now we have a higher U.S. dollar to work with. And it looks like on the charts, dollar's breaking out above resistance, maybe starting an uptrend. We've been in a pretty decent downtrend in that dollar, which has helped a commodity rally over the last 4 to 6 weeks or so. Dollar's been trending lower. Funds have been covering their shorts. So it looks like that dollar's starting to move back to the uptrend now. And if that continues, it's going to be detrimental to our grain prices. We probably start to see some of the funds add back to their short positions. So we did see corn lower overnight, wheat quite a bit lower, soybeans kind of steady to a little bit higher. But the question is, can they sustain their gains? Will we see buying interest come in again at 8:30, even with beans being a little bit higher instead of 10 lower? Will we see that buying come in like we saw yesterday and almost every day previously? We did have a couple export sale announcements this morning. 116,000 beans sold to China and 198,000 corn sold to an unknown destination. So that should help us a little bit to be a little supportive. But that higher dollar is what concerns me, especially as we go into what looks to be a very open and active harvest weekend here in the U.S., plus rain showers on tap for next week for South America, particularly for Brazil.
And we can't forget, we're just, a week away from another report from USDA. So let's take a break. We'll come back. We'll talk livestock futures. Market Day Report continues in a moment. Market Day Report, and let's jump into livestock markets. We'll start with live cattle. Finishing the session yesterday in the red, with losses of over $1 on the 2024 contracts. October at 186 even. December, the most active, down $1.30 at 186.40. Now, for the feeders, we saw losses on the 2024 contracts, including November down 42 at 248.12. But the 2025 contracts were all higher, at least 50 cents higher, a hundredweight. And the hog trade on Thursday settled in mixed territory. Pretty much same story there. Down 35 on the D's at 76.40, unchanged on February. April gained a couple of dimes to 84.45. Let's bring back in Brian Hoops, Midwest Market Solutions. Okay, what do we watch as we head into the weekend?
So we haven't had any cash cattle trade yet this week to speak of, and we're going to have some of that today. So that should give us some direction. The futures markets rallied pretty sharply this week, even though it set back yesterday, anticipating stronger than steady cash trade. And Packers really not bidding anything better than that 183, with asking prices 187, 188. Futures are dialing in at least 186 to 187 trade, I believe. So it'll be interesting to see how we fare for the week, where that cash comes in. We would expect at some point the Packers start cutting their kills. They're deeply in the red right now. They're about $84 a head on a negative side for every animal they kill. And steer weights continue to climb. They're up another 3 pounds last week. We're 30 pounds heavier than we were a year ago at 948 pounds. That just adds more tonnage to this market. And overall, that's a longer-term bearish implication for this cattle market. Now, we've ignored pretty much everything going on with the dock worker strike and concerns about that. You know, the economy, if these numbers are accurate, if you believe them, that should be a positive for this cattle market as far as consumer demand goes. So I think you'll see some buying interest coming off of that news, but yet the cash trade is what's going to give us that direction. Hopefully that develops sometimes while we're able to trade it and not later this afternoon or even tomorrow morning.
Which means you have to come back on Monday morning and we'll talk about what happened in the cattle market. It'll all be in the rearview mirror. Brian Hoops is again with Midwest Market Solutions here on a Monday.